Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. Today I want to talk about how to stop a breakup. And the simple answer to that is long before it happens. Because once it starts, once things start to go bad, once things start to get out of control, it will be impossible to stop. So you want to catch issues in the early stages. And I'm going to give you an example to illustrate. Imagine that there is a car at the top of a very steep hill, and it starts to roll down the hill. Now, if you're able to catch it in the early stages, when it first starts to roll down the hill, you're able to easily stop it, right? However, if you're not able to stop it in the early stages and it starts to roll down the hill, as it rolls down, it gains momentum, and at a certain point, it's going to be impossible to stop, and eventually it's going to crash and burn. So, you don't want your relationship to crash and burn. You want to catch things in the early stages, and that means keeping the relationship healthy. So that if there's disagreements or arguments, you want to make sure that it's resolved to your partner's satisfaction. To yours also, of course, but also to your partner's satisfaction. Because a lot of people, they keep bringing up the same issue in relationships because, why? It was never resolved in the first place. But once it's resolved, then that issue won't be brought up again. And some of the worst advice I've heard is to never go to bed mad. So it's late, you're tired, and now you have to stay up for hours and hours and hours discussing this when you could just go to sleep, because the best advice is actually the opposite. Sleep on it. Wake up well-rested, refreshed. You'll wake up with a new point of view, and it'll be a lot better. So don't follow that advice of don't go to bed mad and just stay up all night fighting. That's not going to work. So unfortunately, most people, instead of making sure they keep the relationship healthy, they start to take it for granted. And then when there's a breakup, suddenly now they want to do all the right things. They want to find out all the right things to do. And that's how you end up on my YouTube channel or someone else's YouTube channel. And if you look at all the videos, the ones that have the most views are the ones about breakups. How to get your ex back, the no contact rule, blah, blah, blah. Whereas the other videos that I have that are about relationship building and dating skills, etc., not so many views, because people would prefer to fix a problem instead of learning how to prevent the problem in the first place. It's the same with health. Instead of learning what you should eat in order to be healthy and what to avoid and working out, getting some type of exercise, most people just eat whatever they want, whenever they want, as much as they want, drink whatever they want, etc. And then one day they get a diagnosis, something happens, and now suddenly, oh my God, I got to do something. Well, if they had just taken preventative measures in the first place, then they wouldn't have to worry about whatever diagnosis they now have. So it's the same with relationships. So I beg you to at least learn some basic relationship skills, because once there's a breakup, it's not easy to get someone back, especially if you've gone past the point of no return where they are just done. And one of the best things you can do is to make communication easy for your partner if there's an issue. So if they want to discuss something, if they're upset about something, instead of getting angry and getting defensive, which is the sign of a weak ego, among other things, you instead thank them for bringing up the issue, because you can't clear up an issue you don't know anything about. So thank them and discuss it and see what you can do to fix it together. Because a lot of times you hear people say, oh, my ex suddenly broke up with me. I don't know what happened. We were so happy. I thought everything was great. And then out of the blue, they broke up with me. It was not out of the blue, okay? It's not like someone is happy and then one day they wake up and they're like, okay, I'm done, goodbye. There is a period of time leading up to that where all these things build up, disappointments, etc. They feel abandoned, neglected, unheard, unloved, blah, blah, blah. And they'll bring it up, they'll say things, and you'll dismiss it, and you'll think it's not important, and you go, oh, come on, that's nothing, that's nothing. Well, if it was nothing, they wouldn't be bringing it up. So don't dismiss something, even if you think it's petty. And that way, you stop things at the beginning, at the top of the hill, before they go downhill, literally. So, if you have any questions or comments about this, or you are interested in private coaching with me, you can reach me at theartoflove.net. If you're listening to this on iTunes, I would appreciate if you would rate and review the podcast. If you're listening on YouTube, please subscribe. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.